often wonder whether time travel is possible, but even though I think I'd like to believe it is, I'm not really sure.
I believe it's possible to travel forward in time at a different rate to the rate at which we travel.
I mean, you could say like, 100 years ago, some of the stuff we've got now wasn't possible, and it is now, so who knows in the future?
You know, science is clever. Science can do that. We could do that as a human race. We're developing all the time.
I guess I'm not really sure what to make of it. I'm not what you might call a theorist or something like that when it comes to that sort of thing.
I think she'll be fine, but we should probably check.
She's mental.
But you don't know that.
I do. I've known her for ages.
Wow. What happened here?
She's lost it. She's finally lost it.
I've done it. You've done what? I finally figured it out. Figured what out? This. Everything. I don't know how I didn't see it before.
This is really crazy.
Sarah?
This isn't healthy.
What isn't?
This, obsessing over the past. There's no point to it.
What? Of course there's a point. There's always a point.
Exactly. What happened to you sucks, but it happened to you for a reason. Maybe you're better off.
Look, what I think he's trying to say is that what's done is done, and no matter how much you want to, there's nothing you can do to change that. But that's the thing. What if I could? Could what? Change what happened.
Losing it.
How would you change it? It's in the past. With this.
Please don't tell me this is going where I think it is.
Holly.
If time travel was possible, I'm pretty sure I would go for it, and I think I know where I would go as well.
Yeah, I think I'd go to the future if I could. Well, who isn't naturally curious about that sort of thing?
I probably would. It'd be quite cool to see what happens after I die.
You wouldn't really pass up a chance like that.
I think if someone gave me the opportunity, I wouldn't be able to turn it down.
I think I would only travel in time if I knew I could come back.
A time machine. A time... No, actually, why am I not surprised?
Come on. Are you honestly trying to tell me that if you had the opportunity to go back and change things from your past, that you wouldn't change anything?
It's all very well to say what I would or wouldn't do if it were possible, but that's my point. It isn't. And besides, I don't see the point on dwelling on things I have no control over. You can't repeat the past.
Can't repeat the past? Why, of course
Don't even think about it.
Well, how do you know that time travel isn't possible?
Are you serious?
Well, as far as I'm aware, it's never been definitively disproven. It hasn't. There you go then.
Right. Time travel is the concept of movement between different points in time, typically using a hypothetical device known as a time machine. Time travel is a recognised concept in philosophy and fiction, but travel to an arbitrary point in time has a very limited support in theoretical physics.
Well, so what? Just because we don't understand it yet doesn't mean it's not possible. Our species seem to have this mindset that anything that we don't understand doesn't or even can't exist. I mean, take religion for example. Some people would say that there's no proof that there's this huge man in the sky, and those people would be quick to tell you that it's ridiculous to even think that there's a higher power beyond our control. But an absence of evidence isn't evidence of absence. It just means we don't have enough information to know for certain. Sorry, what?
Well, I mean, if I had to choose, I'd probably go to the future because I'd probably mess something up in the past, kill someone and ruin a timeline or something like that.
I'd probably go to like 1920s Paris or something and go through that whole like over the top champagne filled parties and stuff.
I'd say just like 1,000 years or so. Maybe like 30 years, see how the whole global warming, climate change thing turns out, you know?
I'm wanting to say Victorian times.
I suppose if I'm going forward, you can't really change anything, but I don't know. I'd try and make myself rich and hoping inflation would work in my advantage there.
I don't know if it's kind of possible to change anything because your impact is kind of while you're there, if you know what I mean.
The future in a way scares me. I'm not sure what it's going to be like, especially like we're not living very well today and I don't really want to see what the future's like.
Okay, let's pretend for even 2 minutes that this machine will work. Like, I understand there are things you think you need to change, but why bother focusing on things that have been and gone? Why not go to the future?
I don't often think about it as much as other people might do. For me, I just hope things work out and that I'm happy and healthy. But for the future of all of us and the planet, I'm really not sure what it would be like. I just hope that we haven't ruined it and that there is a good future coming.
I think we'd all be dead by then, and evolution would have kicked in, so everything would look different.
A couple of world wars, lots of nukes, robots, don't know, sort of like the Terminator film, but a bit shit.
In the far future, I guess I'd like to see if all of those zany costumes that you see in those sci-fi films sort of catch on, you know what I mean? Like one-piece jumpsuits that everyone wears, sort of thing, you know?
I'm with Holly. I think I'd have to go into the past.
Really?
Yeah, not out of regret. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound... I don't know, that's okay.
Regret. Well, who hasn't got a big pile of a horrible pile of regret behind them? I mean, I'm sure I don't have any more regret than the next guy, right?
I think as humans, we're kind of predisposed to go over and over the really bad things that happen to us.
I think regret can be a dangerous thing because if you're looking back, you can't change it. So you're worrying about something that's already been and gone.
If there's nothing you can do about it, do nothing.
Yeah, regret's what you might call integral. Otto von Bismarck, a politician in the 19th century, once said, "A wise man learns from his mistakes, but an even wiser man learns from other people's mistakes." Regret, I guess, kind of falls into the former.
I think regret is a large part of any person, but I think it really kind of helps us like become who we are.
But at the same time, I don't think you can fully live without regret because then you're just going to go forward and you can hurt other people in the process.
I don't really do anything I regret. That's the prerequisite before I do something. Will I regret it? And if the answer's yeah, then don't really do it.
Who needs regret?
If not for regret, then what for?
To see how far we've come, how much progress we've made. Imagine what it would be like living in like America, or how it would be like to live in World War II.
Terrible, I'd imagine.
Well, you wouldn't have to stay for long, just long enough to see what it'd be like. Besides, the future could be just as dangerous, you know. There is such thing as knowing too much.
The past.
I think the past is interesting. I don't really think I have much of a relationship with it.
I think the past is important because it's where we came from and it's kind of the path to where we are today, but it's the past, there's nothing you can really do about it, so let it lie.
Some people use the past to learn from it.
You can't change anything and I guess you just keep going forward and there's not much point dwelling on it, but at the same time that's easier said than done.
But I think probably people more often use it to justify doing things that maybe they need to justify it in order for people, like things that are not great things to do, and they'll sort of justify it by saying, oh yeah, this happened in the past, so it's fine.
People often use the term Victorian to describe something that's barbaric in practice and things like that. Wouldn't it be great to be able to see like how these people sort of like justify the different courses of action that they take, like chimney sweeps. I want to see a man justify sending a 5-year-old up a chimney. Is essentially what I'm trying to say here.
That's true. I don't know how I'd live my life knowing certain things about the future, or even just knowing that I had the potential to find out.
Well, then we just choose not to find out in the first place.
But that's not the point. What's to say you wouldn't find yourself compelled to see if it got any better? If you do end up where you always thought you would.
When you got there, who would stop you from finding out how it all ends?
Do you think it would make you into a better person? Scare you into living a life better than the one you're already living?
Do you think knowing would change that?
I don't know.
I'd like to think I'm living a lot in the present, but I think in reality that's probably not the case.
Like, occasionally I'll sort of have sort of a check of myself and say, oh, what have I done in the past year, like that, sort of a weird existential type of thing. Not so much a crisis, just to check, you know, a sort of a borderline cusp sort of deal. But yeah, everyone likes to look towards the future.
I think like technically I'm living in the present, but I think I do live in the past a bit too much. I think about like what I've done wrong.
I think I live in the future because I'm stressing about exams and what's going to happen with those. So probably I'm stressing about the future quite a lot at the moment.
We have to do something about this.
I don't think there's anything we can do.
There must be something. This whole thing, it's tearing her apart.
I think she's handling it well.
She built a time machine.
All things considered. Fine. We'll talk to her.
Thinking of time travel as a possibility, I'm not sure how safe it would be if we were all entitled to it.
I don't think that we should really be allowed to mess.
I think probably your average Joe shouldn't be allowed to do it.
I know people always ask each other, like, if you could go back in time and you could see Hitler as a baby or something, would you kill the baby? Would you do something about it? And I don't think that's our right or our place to do that, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people would.
I think the potential for fuckery with time travel is well outside the bounds of what you'd call regulatable. I don't know if that's a word or not, but it's probably some bad juju.
I think there would be so much unknown that you couldn't really know what the restrictions would need to be, because we would have no idea of how time works.
We can't even trust some people with cars, let alone time machines.
Holly, what on earth is that?
Protection.
Look, can I just put that there? Look, I know these last few weeks haven't been easy for you, and I really, really wish there was something we could do, but this...
Holly, we want you to be happy.
And if this is what you feel you need to do to get over it, then we're here for you.
Okay then.
I think my past I wouldn't change much, but for my future I'd probably tell myself to do things I want to more and stop procrastinating and go for it, I guess.
Move on.
I don't know, to my future self probably, good luck.
Invest in bitcoins, because you're going to get a load of money.
My advice would probably be to stop thinking about small things.
Past self, don't do it every time. Just don't do it.